Hello creative ones, this is Robin Dudley House, the Artsy Bohemian, coming to you from my studio in Los Angeles, California. Today is the third session of the Edith Holden series, and we're going to still be using the same page. This is page 80. We've done this little flower and this one here, and now we're going to do a white one, which is similar to what I did on this. And we're going to be covering the page with gesso. So this is a little difficult. It's because it's white. It's a white rose, or a dog rose as she calls them here. And so we'll be doing a lot of white watercolor with a little bit of gray shadow. And it's different than the pinks that we were doing. So we're going to just work off of this one like we've been with the other two. And there's a very, very, very thin coat of gesso on the page, and it just gives it a different look. It picks up the paint a little bit more than when you don't have the gesso, and it doesn't run as much as the other ones that we were doing initially. So go ahead, and it literally dries within a minute, probably 2 minutes at the most. So go ahead and I just do a couple of them. It's just kind of nice to have a few of them available. And just do a really thin dry brush coat of the gesso, and then we'll be able to start. We're going to be using our little paintbrush, if I can find it. I'm not sure what I did with it. Here it is. And make sure everything is in place here. So I think I'll start with the drawing like we have been doing with our pencil. And again, you're just, if you haven't watched the other two videos I did, you're gonna hold it just a regular number 2 pencil at the very end by the eraser, and just do a very light drawing. I like where it says Enchanted Voyage, so I'm going to try to work within that. Actually, I might go over it a little bit and then not just, I'll still be able to see it. This is a different angle than what we've been doing in the other watercolors. So it gives a different perspective. I'm going to kind of drew a little bit too much on there, so I'm going to kind of draw where the center of the flower is going to be. Okay, so now I think I'm going to start with the white, and I'm going to really saturate the brush with the white watercolor. And then we're going to go back in and do the gray. And we can go back in when it dries and add more if we want. Now I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of black to my palette and just start really lightly with the gray. And I'm going to squeeze the receptacle here. I don't know what to call this thing at the end here. Just a little bit more black there, and it won't dry that dark, so it's okay. And make little lines for the shadow of the inside. I'm going to grab some of that black and then draw it into the center a little bit more. I'm going to take some of this off and then move it around. And I'm going to do a little bit over here. Remember, we're going to take the fine felt tip pen too, so that's going to outline some of the details. And now I'm going to add some green. I'm going to do the leaves, and we're going to do that kind of olive green color with some brown. Actually, there's too much gray on here. I'm going to take all of that off and start fresh. Excuse me. A little bit more brown. It makes kind of an olive color. I might take some of that off. Let's see. That's a little bit too much. Might add some yellow. Just do, when you're doing the leaves, just kind of don't color the whole thing in. It gives it more depth because this is more of a simplistic type of painting that we're doing here. Just kind of leave little spots of the paper showing. A little bit more dark color here. I'm squeezing my thing here. Oh, I wish if you guys know what to call it, let me know. I can't think of what to call it. I'll grab some of this extra water. And green here. I'm going to add like a mustard kind of color. That's not mustard, that's more like chartreuse. I'm going to take that off. There we go. I'm just kind of dotting it and letting some of it bleed over here. And maybe I'll bring a little bit down here. Just adding a little bit of the mustard color just to give the leaves a little bit more depth and highlight. I'm going to do a little bit up here. And I'm going to drag some of this color on the sides. I'm really squeezing the thing here so you can get some color. Doing kind of like a taupe. Mustardy color. And I'm going to add a little bit more to this. It's a little alone. Just going to go in with a little bit of brown. And just on the edges of the stem. And maybe these leaves too. No, that's too much. Okay, I'm gonna let it dry. I'm actually gonna hit it with the heat gun. It's going to be loud for a few seconds. I'm going to take my micron 0.30 millimeter. See that? Super tiny. And just barely make an outline like we've been doing. Holding it at the very base end of the pen. Little dots and little circles for the center. And I'm going to go back in with some more white. And I might be able to do it with that larger white pen that I showed in the last video. I'll show you. So this is the other pen I was talking about. It's a Faber-Castell Pitt artist pen. It's white. And it's not very opaque. It's a little translucent. So let's kind of go in here. I might be able to move it around. You could always, you know, use white paint and just water it down a little bit. But let's see if we can do this. And I might have, when I did this originally, I might have done a couple of layers of just the watercolor, which I might do as well here. We'll see. I was a little heavy-handed on the gray. And it looks like it went in here. It looks like it kind of went in and did some more highlights, so I think I'll do that with the the paint. Make sure there's no color on here. Really squeezing this and putting lots of water on there so it kind of pools. So that's looking a little better. And then I'm going to take and do some highlights in the leaves a little bit more with the paint, not so much water. Just kind of wiggle it around a little bit. That's better, I think. A little bit more here. Just try to copy as much as you can what I'm doing. This takes a while to kind of figure out. I'm gonna add a little more green to this one. And just in spots, not the whole thing. So see, like that just pooled there. I'm going to take that off because it's still wet. I just added a little bit more of this kind of mustardy yellow color. And it's important to make sure that if you are going to be doing layers like this, which I felt like I needed to on this particular one, that you need to let each layer dry. Otherwise it just will become one big pool of mud. I'm just making some more green up here. It might be a little bit too green. More of this kind of yellowish green color. I'm still not painting, like I'm not painting a full leaf like this. Try to avoid that. Try to do more like just little squiggles here and there. And when you're doing that, press on the this thing here at the end, or if you're using a regular paintbrush, use water quite a bit to get that effect. Add a little bit more brown here, and here. And this just kind of outlines it a little bit more. I don't squeeze this all the time, only when I want the water to really kind of move the paint around. I don't like the paint just staying in one spot. Now we'll make our number 3 with our sepia color, pink color. So I'm going to do a little brown and black over here. This is number 3. Brush is starting to shed. I think I'm going to do a little bit more white here. I'm kind of being fussy on this one. I think I did too much of the gray. I think that's a little better. And then more white here. Okay, thanks for coming along and sharing this time with me. And if you like these videos and you want to see more of this Edith Holden style, just subscribe to my channel and click the bell right next to it so that you can be notified when I load another video. Thanks!